Commander Lisa Winters stood tall as the elevator carried her to the upper levels of Unity Station. Her Blue Earth Alliance uniform felt stiff and formal against her skin. This was her first visit to the Galactic Council headquarters, and she wanted to make a good impression. "Nervous?" asked Ryan Daniels, her communications officer. "A bit," Lisa admitted. "Humans have only been part of the interstellar community for 30 years. Most of these aliens have been traveling between stars for thousands of years." The elevator doors opened to reveal a massive circular chamber. Hundreds of different alien species gathered in tiered seating around a central platform. Some had scales, others had fur, and many had body shapes that hardly resembled anything from Earth. "The Earth Alliance representatives may approach," announced a tall, slender alien with purple skin and 4 arms. Lisa took a deep breath and led her small team forward. This meeting would determine humanity's place in the greater galactic community. After decades of being observed and tested, Earth was finally being considered for full council membership. "Welcome, humans," said High Counselor Ziv, a being that looked like a giant jellyfish floating in a special tank. "Today we formally recognize Earth's growing contribution to our shared civilization." Lisa smiled and prepared to deliver her carefully practiced speech. But before she could begin, a harsh alarm blared throughout the chamber. Red lights flashed as panicked voices filled the room. Council security officers rushed to seal the main doors. "What's happening?" Lisa asked a nearby reptilian security guard. "Pirates," the guard hissed. "They've breached the outer defenses." The main view screen activated, showing a group of masked figures. Their leader stepped forward, a tall being with gray skin and yellow eyes. "Greetings, esteemed council," the pirate said with a mocking bow. "I am Captain Drazkor. You know what we want." The High Counselor's voice shook slightly. "We do not negotiate with criminals." "Then perhaps this will change your mind." Drazkor held up a glowing blue canister. The reaction was immediate. Aliens throughout the chamber gasped or cried out. Some even tried to flee despite the sealed doors. "What is that?" Ryan whispered to Lisa. Lisa shook her head. She had never seen anything cause such immediate fear. Drazkor laughed. "I see you recognize a hydro weapon when you see one. We have dozens more. Transfer 1 billion credits to our accounts, or we start using them." The council representatives looked at each other in horror. Lisa noticed that even the bravest among them seemed terrified. Ziv's tentacles trembled. "We need time to consider." "Time's up," Drazkor snapped. He nodded to one of his crew, who aimed a strange gun at the view screen. The image shifted to show the station's main docking bay. A pirate pointed his weapon at a blue-skinned Silurian diplomat who had been caught trying to reach his ship. The pirate pulled the trigger. Instead of a laser or bullet, a fine blue mist shot from the weapon. When it touched the Silurian, the alien screamed. His blue skin bubbled and melted. Within seconds, the once proud diplomat collapsed into a puddle of liquid that spread across the floor. Lisa covered her mouth in shock. In all her years of military service, she had never seen anything so horrific. "Now you see we are serious," Drazkor said. "You have 1 hour to meet our demands." The screen went dark. The chamber erupted in chaos as council members argued about what to do. An older alien with leathery skin approached the human delegation. "I am Security Chief Kelvax," he said grimly. "Come with me. We need your help." "Our help?" Lisa asked, surprised. "What can we do against weapons like that?" Kelvax's 4 eyes blinked slowly. "Perhaps nothing. But you humans have surprised us before. And right now, we need all the help we can get." Lisa nodded to her team. As they followed Kelvax through a side door, she couldn't stop thinking about the blue mist and what it had done. One thing was clear. This diplomatic mission had just turned into something far more dangerous than she had ever expected. Security Chief Kelvax led Lisa and her team through a series of narrow hallways. They arrived at a small command center where aliens of various species worked at control stations. Large screens showed different areas of the station. What exactly are these hydro weapons? Lisa asked as they entered. Kelvax's leathery face grew even more serious. The most feared weapons in the galaxy. He pressed a button on a nearby console. A hologram appeared, showing a blue canister similar to what the pirates had displayed. The hydro weapons were created by the Maglans, an ancient race that destroyed themselves 5,000 years ago, Kelvax explained. They discovered how to manipulate water molecules at the quantum level. Ryan frowned. Water? That doesn't sound so dangerous. An alien with 6 arms turned from her console. Because you don't understand, she said sharply. Most life in our galaxy is water-based, just like yours. The hydro weapons target the water inside living cells, causing them to break down almost instantly. That's what we saw happen to the Xilarian diplomat, Lisa said, remembering the horrible sight. Kelvax nodded. Exactly. When the Maglans died out, we thought their weapons were lost forever. But about 100 years ago, explorers found ruins of their civilization. Since then, various criminals and terrorists have recovered the technology. Why not just destroy all the weapons? Ryan asked. We try, said Kelvax. Even possessing hydro weapon technology carries an automatic death sentence in council space. But the pirates keep finding more in hidden Maglan outposts. Lisa studied the screens showing the pirates moving through the station. And this Drazkor? What do we know about him? A tall bird-like alien stepped forward. He was once a respected merchant captain. Then his home world was destroyed in a civil war. Now he leads the most dangerous pirate group in the outer systems. Our intelligence suggests he's been collecting hydro weapons for months. Kelvax added. What we're seeing today is just a small part of his arsenal. Lisa watched the screens carefully. The pirates had established control of the main docking bays and several key corridors. They moved with military precision. They're too organized for simple pirates, she observed. This feels like a coordinated attack with a bigger purpose than just credits. Kelvax looked impressed. You see clearly, Commander Winters. We believe Drazkor plans to sell these weapons to the highest bidder. Imagine what would happen if a hostile government acquired this technology. The gravity of the situation sank in. Lisa had come to Unity Station expecting diplomatic talks. Instead, she found herself in the middle of what could become a galactic crisis. The Council won't negotiate, Kelvax continued. But we need to resolve this without the pirates using more of those weapons. We're assembling a special task force to deal with the situation. I want you to join it. Me? Lisa asked, surprised. Why? We're the newcomers here. Because you're human, Kelvax said simply. Your species approaches problems differently. And right now, we need new ideas. Before Lisa could respond, one of the screens flashed red. A group of pirates had reached the station's environmental control center. If they take control of the air supply, they can threaten the entire station, said the bird-like alien. Kelvax turned to Lisa. We need to act now. Will you help us? Lisa looked at Ryan, who nodded. She thought of Earth, still new to the galactic community. This was their chance to prove humanity's worth as allies. We're in, she said firmly. What's the plan? Kelvax's 4 eyes blinked with what might have been relief. The task force is gathering in Docking Bay 7. We have special equipment that might help against the hydro weapons. As they hurried toward the docking bay, Lisa couldn't help wondering what she had gotten herself into. But one thing was clear. The galaxy had just become a much more dangerous place, and humanity was now right in the middle of it. Thousands of light years away from Unity Station, scientist Paul Martinez worked in a classified Earth Alliance laboratory. The room was cold and brightly lit. Warning signs covered the walls. 6 armed guards stood outside the door. Paul adjusted his safety suit and checked the seals twice. On the table in front of him sat a small blue canister. It was one of 2 hydro weapons that Earth forces had captured during a pirate raid last month. Beginning test sequence, Paul said into his recorder. Sample test number 47. He carefully extracted a tiny amount of the glowing blue liquid from the canister using a special tool. Even through his thick gloves, he could feel the container was unusually cold. All alien species we know of treat this substance with extreme fear, Paul continued. Yet our tests show its molecular structure is not immediately harmful to most materials. Paul placed the sample into an analysis chamber. Unlike the alien scientists who handled hydro weapons with robots or drones, Hall believed in direct observation. It was the human way. Get close, study carefully, understand completely. The computer displayed results on a large screen. Paul frowned as he studied the data. That's odd, he muttered. The compound seems to target specific cellular structures, structures that are common in most alien species we've studied. He pulled up data from human cellular analysis and compared it to the alien samples. Computer, run a simulation of the hydro compound interacting with human tissue. The computer processed for a moment. The result made Paul sit up straight. That can't be right, he said. Run it again. The computer showed the same result. Minimal interaction. The simulation predicted the compound would cause only minor effects on human cells, nothing like the rapid breakdown seen in alien tissue. Paul was so focused on the screen that he didn't notice the small crack forming in the analysis chamber. A tiny amount of the blue liquid escaped and dripped onto the table. When Paul turned back, he saw the drop. Without thinking, he reached out to catch it before it hit the floor. The liquid fell onto his gloved palm. Paul froze. Though his safety suit should protect him, direct contact with a hydro weapon was considered a death sentence throughout the galaxy. But nothing happened. The blue drop sat harmlessly on his glove. No alarm sounded. No damage appeared on the material. Paul hesitated, then made a decision that would change the course of human history. He carefully removed his glove and placed it in a containment unit. Then he studied his hand. His skin showed no signs of damage. Computer, scan my hand for cellular damage. The computer complied. No cellular breakdown detected. Minor increase in surface temperature noted. Paul felt a tingling sensation where the drop had touched his glove, but nothing painful. His scientific mind raced with possibilities. The compound interacts differently with human physiology, he said into his recorder, possibly due to Earth's unique evolutionary path. Paul knew he should report this discovery immediately, but his curiosity pushed him further. He needed more data before making any conclusions. Computer, prepare human tissue samples from the medical bank. I need to test various concentrations of the compound. As the computer worked, Paul thought about what this could mean. If humans were resistant or even immune to hydro weapons, it would change everything about humanity's place in the galaxy. 6 hours later, Paul stared at the results in amazement. Not only were humans largely immune to the deadly effects of the hydro compound, but in small doses, it appeared to temporarily enhance cellular regeneration. He reached for his communication device. He needed to contact his friend Ryan Daniels on the Intrepid. This information could be vital, especially with reports coming in about a pirate attack on Unity Station. Ryan needs to know, Paul said to himself. The most feared weapon in the galaxy might not work on humans at all. Ryan Daniels stood in the crowded security center of Unity Station. His communication device buzzed in his pocket. He stepped away from the planning table where Lisa and the alien task force members were discussing strategy. This isn't a good time, Paul, Ryan said quietly after answering. You need to hear this, Paul's voice was urgent. It's about the hydro weapons. Ryan glanced back at the team. Go ahead, but make it quick. They don't work on humans, Paul said. At least, not the way they affect aliens. Ryan blinked in surprise. What? How do you know this? I've been testing the weapons we captured last month. There was an accident in the lab. A small amount touched my glove, and nothing happened. So I ran more tests using human tissue samples. You deliberately exposed human tissue to a hydro weapon, Ryan asked in disbelief. Listen to me, Paul insisted. The compound targets specific cellular structures that most alien species have in common. But human cells evolve differently on Earth. Not only are we resistant to the harmful effects, but in small doses, the compound actually enhances human cellular activity. Ryan struggled to process this information. You're saying we're immune? Not completely immune, Paul clarified. High concentrations would still be dangerous, but the amounts used in standard hydro weapons, they might actually make us stronger for a short time. I've already observed increased cellular regeneration and enhanced metabolic activity in the lab samples. Ryan looked back at Lisa, who was now pointing at a station map. The task force was preparing to move against the pirates. I need to tell Commander Winters, Ryan said. This could change everything. Be careful how you use this information, Paul warned. If word gets out too soon, it could cause panic. Or worse, the pirates might change tactics. Understood, Ryan said. I'll keep it confidential. Ryan hurried back to the planning table. Lysa was speaking with Kelvax and 3 other alien commanders. The pirates have set up hydro weapon emplacements here, and here, Kelvax was saying, pointing to locations on the map. They've created killing zones that we cannot pass through. What about using drones? One of the alien commanders suggested. They've set up signal jammers, another replied. We can't get drones close enough. Ryan caught Lisa's eye and motioned her over. What is it? She asked when they were slightly apart from the others. Ryan lowered his voice. I just got a call from Paul Martinez at the Earth Research Lab. He's been studying the captured hydro weapons, and he's made a discovery. Lisa listened intently as Ryan explained what Paul had found. Her eyes widened. Are you sure about this? She asked when he finished. Paul is the best scientist we have, Ryan said. If he says it's true, I believe him. Lisa looked back at the map, seeing the situation with new eyes. If humans could survive hydro weapon fire, it changed everything about their approach. We need to test this, she said finally. How? We can't exactly volunteer someone to get shot with a weapon that melts every other species in the galaxy. Lisa's face grew determined. Not someone. Me. Commander, no, Ryan protested. Even if Paul is right, it's too risky. We don't have time for caution, Lisa said. The pirates are threatening to release hydro weapons into the station's air supply. Thousands will die. She rejoined the alien commanders at the table. I have a new plan, she announced. Kelvax's 4 eyes focused on her. We're listening, Commander Winters. The main problem is getting past the hydro weapon emplacements, Lisa said. What if I told you I could do that? The aliens stared at her in shock. Impossible, said the bird-like commander. No living being can survive hydro weapon exposure. Lisa met his gaze steadily. I believe humans can. A stunned silence fell over the room. Then all the aliens began talking at once. Some called her crazy. Others accused her of not understanding the danger. Kelvax raised a hand for silence. Explain, he said simply. As Lisa outlined what Paul had discovered, the aliens' expressions changed from disbelief to cautious hope. For the first time since the crisis began, there was a chance they might stop Drazkor and his pirates. And it all depended on whether Lisa was right about humanity's unique biology. Lisa stood in a small preparation room near the edge of the area controlled by the task force. She checked her equipment one last time. Standard body armor covered her chest and legs, but she held her helmet in her hands, staring at it. You don't have to do this, Ryan said, standing nearby. We can find another way. There is no other way, Lisa replied. The pirates have 3 of our team trapped in Section 12. If we don't get them out soon, they'll die. Kelvax entered the room, his leathery face tight with concern. The rescue team is ready, Commander Winters. But we cannot move until those hydro weapon emplacements are disabled. Lisa nodded and placed her helmet on a nearby table. I won't need this. Are you certain about this information? Kelvax asked. No species has ever shown resistance to hydro weapons. No species you've encountered before, Lisa corrected him. Earth developed in isolation. Our biology is different. Ryan handed her a small device. Keep this vital monitor on you. If anything goes wrong, we'll know immediately." Lisa attached it to her wrist. She could feel her heart pounding, but kept her face calm. She had to appear confident, even if doubt gnawed at her insides. "The main emplacement is 30 meters down that corridor," Kelvac said, pointing to a map. "If you can disable it, we can move the rescue team in." Lisa took a deep breath. Open the door. The security door slid open. Beyond it lay a long, empty corridor. At the far end, Lisa could see the blue glow of a hydro weapon emplacement. 2 pirates guarded it, their backs turned as they watched the other direction. "Good luck," Ryan said quietly. Lisa stepped into the corridor. The door closed behind her. She was committed now. She moved forward slowly at first, then picked up speed. The pirates hadn't noticed her yet. 20 meters to go. 15. 10. One of the pirates turned and spotted her. He shouted something and raised his weapon. Lisa broke into a run. The pirate fired. A cloud of glowing blue mist shot toward her. Lisa fought every instinct that screamed at her to dodge or turn back. Instead, she ran straight into it. The mist enveloped her. Lisa felt a cold, tingling sensation on her skin. For a terrible moment, she feared Paul had been wrong. Then the sensation changed. A rush of energy flowed through her body. Her muscles felt stronger. Her mind clearer. The hydro weapon wasn't hurting her. It was energizing her. The pirates stared in horror as Lisa emerged from the blue mist unharmed. Before they could react, she reached them and knocked the first one unconscious with a quick strike. The second pirate tried to flee, but Lisa moved with unexpected speed, catching him and pinning him to the floor. "How?" The pirate gasped. "No one survives the hydro." Lisa didn't waste time explaining. She disabled the weapon emplacement and activated her communicator. "This is Winters. The path is clear. Send in the rescue team." Minutes later, Kelvax and a team of security officers rushed into the area. They stopped short when they saw Lisa standing among the unconscious pirates, the disabled hydro weapon beside her. "It's true," Kelvax said in amazement. "You are unharmed." "Better than unharmed," Lisa said. "I feel stronger, more alert. The weapon actually seems to have a positive effect." The rescue team moved past them to free the trapped team members. Word spread quickly through their communications. Soon, everyone knew that a human had walked through hydro weapon fire and survived. From his command center, Drazkor received the news with disbelief. "Impossible," he snarled at his lieutenant. "Check the weapon. It must have malfunctioned." The weapon was functioning perfectly, his lieutenant insisted. The human female walked right through the mist. It had no effect on her. Drazkor's yellow eyes narrowed. His main advantage was suddenly in question. If humans were immune to hydro weapons, his carefully laid plans would need to change. "Prepare the ship," he ordered. "We may need to leave sooner than expected." Back at the security center, Lisa briefed the full task force on what had happened. The aliens listened with a mixture of disbelief and hope. "This changes everything," Kelvax said when she finished. "With humans able to bypass the hydro weapons, we can take back the station." Lisa nodded. "And that's just the beginning." News of Lisa's immunity to the hydro weapons spread through Unity Station like wildfire. Aliens who had been hiding in fear began to emerge. Hope replaced panic in many areas. Back on Earth, Paul Martinez worked frantically in his lab. After hearing about Lisa's success, he had doubled his efforts to understand the interaction between the hydro compound and human physiology. "The effect is temporary," Paul explained to Admiral Frank Campbell, who had rushed to the lab after hearing the reports. "But during that time, cellular energy increases by 40%. The Admiral, a tall man with gray hair and a serious face, studied the data on the screen. "Can you make it safe? Control the dosage." Paul nodded. "I'm already working on a diluted version. I call it Hydro Boost. In small amounts, it enhances human physical abilities without risk." "And you're certain there are no long-term effects?" the Admiral asked. "Initial tests show the compound breaks down completely after about 2 hours," Hall replied. "No traces remain in the system." Admiral Campbell paced the lab. "This discovery changes humanity's position in the galaxy. The Council has always seen us as newcomers, barely worth noticing. Now we may be their only defense against these weapons." "We need to be careful," Hall warned. "If we appear too eager to use this advantage, other species might see us as a threat rather than allies." The Admiral stopped pacing. "Prepare samples of your hydro boost. I'm sending a ship to Unity Station immediately." At Unity Station, Lisa and the task force had reclaimed several key areas from the pirates. Without their hydro weapons advantage, the pirates were falling back. Lisa sat in the security center, drinking water and trying to rest. The energy boost from the hydro weapon had worn off, leaving her tired but unarmed. Kelvax approached with a group of council representatives. They looked at Lisa with a mixture of respect and unease. "The council wishes to speak with you, Commander Winters," Kelvax said formally. Lisa stood and faced the representatives. She recognized High Counselor Ziv among them. "Your actions today have saved many lives," Ziv said, his tentacles moving slowly. "We are grateful." "Thank you, High Counselor," Lisa replied. "I was just doing my duty." "Perhaps," said another council member, a tall being with green skin. "But this revelation about humans raises concerns." Lisa frowned. "Concerns?" The green alien stepped forward. "For centuries, the balance of power in the galaxy has been maintained because no single species held an overwhelming advantage. Now humans appear immune to the most feared weapons we know. We use that immunity to help you," Lisa pointed out. "Today, yes," the alien agreed. "But what about tomorrow? Or next year?" Some on the council fear this discovery gives humans too much power. Before Lisa could respond, alarms blared again. Ryan rushed into the room. "Drazkor is making his move," he reported. "He's gathered his remaining forces at the main docking bay. He's threatening to release all his hydro weapons into the station's air system if we don't let him escape." Kelvax turned to the council members. "This is not the time for political debate. We must act." Lisa's communicator beeped. It was a message from Earth. "Admiral Campbell reports a ship is on its way with supplies," she told the group. "And something called Hydro Boost. It's a controlled version of the compound that can temporarily enhance human abilities." The council members exchanged worried glances. "How many humans are on this station?" Lisa asked Kelvax. 27 in total," he replied. "Most are part of your diplomatic team." Lisa nodded. "Have them meet me at Security Station 4. We're forming a human hydro response team." "What are you planning?" Ziv asked. Lisa's expression was determined. "Drazkor thinks he has us trapped because we fear his weapons. It's time to show him that at least one species doesn't." As Lisa left to gather her team, the council members continued their debate. Some saw humans as saviors. Others saw them as a new threat, potentially more dangerous than the pirates. "Either way," Kelvax said quietly, "the galaxy will never be the same after today." The Earth Alliance ship Defender arrived at Unity Station 6 hours later. It docked at a secure bay where Lisa and her newly formed human hydro response team waited. 25 humans stood ready, a mix of diplomatic staff and security personnel. A scientist from the ship hurried down the ramp, carrying the secure case. He handed it to Lisa. "From Dr. Martinez," he said. 12 doses of Hydro Boost, carefully measured and tested." Lisa opened the case. Inside were small vials filled with glowing blue liquid, much lighter in color than the raw hydro weapons. "Instructions?" Lisa asked. "Drink it," the scientist replied. "Effects begin within 30 seconds and last approximately 90 minutes. Enhanced strength, speed, and reflexes. Improved healing for minor injuries." Lisa distributed the vials to her team members. "This is volunteer only," she told them. We don't know all the risks yet. Every human stepped forward to take a vial. Ryan held his up, studying the blue liquid. To think, the most feared substance in the galaxy is about to become our secret weapon, he said. Kelvax entered the bay with several council security officers. Drazkor has given his final ultimatum. We have 20 minutes before he releases hydro weapons into the air system. Lisa nodded. What's the situation at the main docking bay? 15 pirates, heavily armed. At least 6 hydro weapon emplacements covering all approaches. No way to reach them without passing through killing zones. No way for you, Lisa corrected. Show me the layout. Kelvax displayed a holographic map. Lisa studied it carefully, then turned to her team. Our plan is simple, she said. We move in fast, using the hydrofields to our advantage. The pirates won't expect us to walk right through their main defense. She pointed to key positions on the map. Team 1 creates a distraction here. Team 2 disables the air system controls to prevent them from releasing the weapons station-wide. My team goes straight for Drazkor. The humans nodded, faces determined. This was humanity's moment to prove themselves to the galaxy. Move out in 5 minutes, Lisa ordered. As the teams took their positions, Lisa uncapped her vial of hydro boost. She looked at Ryan beside her. Ready? She asked. He nodded. For Earth. For all species, Lisa corrected. Together, they drank the blue liquid. The sensation was immediate and powerful. Energy surged through Lisa's body. Her vision sharpened. Her muscles felt stronger, more responsive. She could hear the smallest sounds, feel the slightest movements of air on her skin. Amazing, Ryan whispered, his eyes wide. The teams moved into position. When Lisa gave the signal, they all advanced at once. The pirates didn't understand what was happening at first. Humans walked directly into the hydro weapon mist, moving faster than normal, completely unaffected by the deadly spray. The weapons don't work, one pirate screamed, panic in his voice. Switch to blasters, another shouted. But the humans were already among them, moving with enhanced speed and strength. Team 2 secured the air system controls while Team 1 disabled the weapon emplacements. Lisa led her team straight toward the main pirate ship where Drazkor waited. 2 pirates fired hydro weapons directly at her. The blue mist washed over her, but instead of harming her, it seemed to strengthen the effects of the hydro boost. Drazkor watched in horror as the humans approached. His yellow eyes widened when Lisa walked through another hydro field unharmed. What are you? He demanded, backing away. Just human, Lisa replied. But that turns out to be special enough. She moved faster than Drazkor could react, disarming him with a swift strike. As her team secured the remaining pirates, Lisa activated her communicator. This is Commander Winters. The docking bay is secure. Drazkor is in custody. A cheer went up from the Council security forces watching from a safe distance. Aliens who had feared entering the area now rushed in to help secure the prisoners. Kelvax approached Lisa, his 4 eyes blinking in astonishment. In all my years, I have never seen anything like this, he said. You walked through death, as if it were nothing. Lisa looked at the captured hydro weapons. Not nothing, she said, but sometimes a threat to one species can be a tool for another. As the effects of the hydro boost began to fade, Lisa knew this was just the beginning. Humanity had changed the galaxy today, and nothing would ever be the same again. 3 months after the events at Unity Station, Admiral Lisa Winters stood before the full Galactic Council. Her promotion had come quickly after her actions against Drazkor and his pirates. Today she wore her formal Earth Alliance uniform with its new insignia, a blue droplet inside a human handprint. The council chamber was filled with representatives from over 200 species. Some looked at Lisa with respect, others with caution, a few with clear fear. High Counselor Zib floated forward in his tank. This special session will now begin, he announced. We are here to formalize new protocols regarding hydrotechnology and to welcome Earth's expanded role in galactic security. Lisa nodded to Paul Martinez, who sat nearby. After his discovery, Paul had become Earth's leading expert on hydrotechnology. He had spent weeks working with alien scientists to understand both the weapons and their effects on different species. As we all now know, Ziv continued, humans possess a unique biological resistance to hydro effects. This discovery has changed our approach to a threat that has plagued our galaxy for a century. A tall, insect-like being rose from the council seats. Some of us remain concerned about giving humans such authority. The Hydro Boost compound they have developed gives them abilities no other species possesses. Lisa stepped forward. We understand these concerns, she said calmly. That is why Earth Alliance has agreed to strict regulations on Hydro Boost use. The human hydro response teams will operate only with council approval and oversight. Another council member, a small purple being, spoke up. But we have reports that you are developing medical applications as well. Paul stood to answer. Yes, in very diluted forms, certain aspects of the hydro compound can accelerate healing in most species. We've modified the molecular structure to remove the harmful effects while preserving the beneficial ones. This caused excited murmurs throughout the chamber. What had once been only a weapon was now becoming a medical breakthrough. The first treatments will be available to all council worlds within the year, Paul added. After hours of discussion, the council voted. Earth would lead the new Galactic Hydro Response Division, with strict oversight. The remaining hydro weapons would be placed in secure facilities, and research into beneficial applications would continue under joint supervision. Later, Lisa stood at a viewport, looking out at the stars. Kelvax joined her, his leathery face now familiar and friendly. You have accomplished much, Admiral Winters, he said. When you first arrived at Unity Station, most species barely knew humans existed. Now they all do. Lisa smiled. Not exactly how I planned our diplomatic mission to go. The best plans rarely survive first contact, Kelvax replied. But what matters is how we adapt. And how humanity adapted to the hydro weapons, Lisa said thoughtfully. Kelvax nodded. Many species still find it hard to believe. The substance they feared for generations turned out to be harmless, even beneficial, to humans. Not just harmless, Lisa corrected. It reminded us of something important about humanity. What is that? That our greatest strength has always been turning challenges into opportunities. What others see as poison, we might find a use for. On a view screen nearby, news played silently. It showed human hydro response teams helping evacuate a mining colony threatened by natural disaster. The teams moved through areas contaminated by leaked hydro compounds, rescuing aliens who would otherwise have died. In another segment, a hospital on a distant world showed the first patients receiving modified hydro treatments, healing injuries that would once have been fatal. What was once feared throughout the galaxy is now saving lives, Kelvax observed. Lisa nodded. That's often the way of progress. Yesterday's nightmare becomes tomorrow's miracle. She thought about how far humanity had come in such a short time. From newcomers barely noticed by the galactic community to essential allies in fighting a threat no one else could face. The pirates wanted to use fear as a weapon, Lisa said quietly. But in the end, courage proved stronger. And now the galaxy is safer for everyone. As they watched ships coming and going from the station, Lisa knew this was just the beginning. Humanity had found its place among the stars, not through conquest or technology, but through their unique biology and adaptability. And it had all started because humans could drink what others feared.